Track the table.
Repeat silently in your head. So usually, like, I give you tools, like I give you cues, or I give you a piece of paper, or I give you a track. Here's what I'm going to do.
Your hands need to stay here. We can help you with your hair later, okay? The book is called A Frog Prince. I'll show you that. You just want it here, okay? So a frog prince is a type.
When you have the answer,
This story is a type of traditional literature. It's a type of. Ooh, I can tell you didn't have your active listening ears on. It's a type of traditional literature. Type of.
Traditional literature.
For what?
Say so close.
So close.
Traditional.
Yes, say the answer out loud.
No, my turn. Traditional. My turn. Traditional.
Try it.
Your hands need to be folded if you want points. My turn only. Traditional. Your turn. My turn. Literature. Your turn. Now let's put it together. Traditional literature.
Traditional literature.
Say we got it.
We got it.
Traditional literature has 5 parts. How many parts?
5 parts.
Maya, show me your hand. 5 parts. How many parts?
5 parts.
You got it. 5 parts. Traditional literature begins with once upon a time. It begins with
Once upon a time.
Jemiah, what does it begin with? You got it. It begins with once upon a time. It also has an element of fantasy. An element of
Fantasy.
Zayar.
You started with 8 in your
Zayar.
head, and then you counted on each number.
Fantasy. Your
Don't try to
turn.
use a different
Fantasy.
No, Zayar only. Your turn.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. It has an element of fantasy. An element of. Who can
Fantasy.
tell me what fantasy is? What's fantasy? Maurice, everybody hands out. Track Maurice. Jameer is tracking. Ooh. Remember, you wait for your friends to show you respect with their eyes and their ears. You got it. Go ahead, Maurice.
Okay, yeah, so the same thing. You started with 8, counted on 6. Hands are still folded.
That's fancy.
Started with 8,
So
counted on
close.
6, counted on 2,
Fantasy.
counted on 4, and so
What about, let me give you some examples, maybe then you can tell me.
differently.
What about Star Wars? What do you know about Star Wars?
I know that they shoot.
Okay, that's not what I meant. What do you know about Star Wars there?
I know about Star Wars is they have a girl and a boy.
Okay, but
Lightsabers.
you're absolutely right. Are lightsabers real? Say no way.
No way.
No way. What about the movie Harry Potter? Are wizards real? Say no way. What about frogs riding horses? Are they real? Say no way. So what do you notice about fantasy? They're all
Why
examples
would
of
you count
fantasy.
by 2s?
If you have something to say, your hand is up.
Can you show me how you
Hands
did?
down. Track Jameer. Jameer, what did you notice about fantasy? Maurice is tracking, Terrell is tracking, Zayar track. Jameer. Jamal. Zayar.
How did you
Fine,
notice that
still.
was funny?
Track Jameer, he's waiting for you. Go ahead, Jameer. What did you notice about all of those examples? Down. Track Jameer. Jameer, your hand was up, that meant you had a answer ready to go. We'll come back to you. Who else can
Let's
tell
see
me?
if
What did you
anybody
notice
else
about all
had a
those
different way of
examples?
solving this question.
If you have something, put your hand straight up.
If you had a different
Hands
way,
down.
other than just starting with 8 and counting on it.
Track Maurice.
Can you think of a different way?
Might be the folktale.
Ooh, yep, maybe a folktale is like fantasy, yeah. So are folktales like the story of Cinderella? Did that really happen?
Well, that's what you said you
Do
did.
you think a frog can actually ride a prince?
So,
No, wait. I mean, sorry. Do you think a frog can actually ride a horse? Say no way.
No way.
No way. A fantasy is a story that's fiction, and fiction is
add it on 6, add it on 2.
fake. Terrell's got it. Fantasy
Now I
is
want you to
fiction, and fiction is
Fake.
That's a
I want you
fake
to
story.
find the
Tyrone, you
fastest
can't
way
earn points
to
until
find
final,
how
okay?
the
So
number
fantasy
goes
is
in the
something
box.
that's not real.
You
It's
gotta find
something
the
that's
fastest
Not
way.
real.
lightsabers are.
Not real.
Thanks, Marley. Thanks,
You got
Nevada.
it. Lightsabers are not real. Frogs cannot ride horses. Frogs that ride horses are.
Not real.
And Terrell, you got it. All right.
All right.
Traditional literature also has good and evil not nice for you to say no to somebody like that?
Taylor, what's
So who's an example of one of the characters on the dark side? It's the guy with the mask. Yeah, what's his name? Everybody, his name is?
Darth Vader.
So Darth Vader is one of the evil characters. He's one of the good characters in Star Wars. Tyrone?
The guys that have lightsabers.
Okay, can you give me an example of some of these names? Yeah, Darth Vader has a lightsaber.
But
Maurice, I can't call you because you're calling
I
out.
mean the ones
12 and then what?
Oh! Not the white ones.
Alright, hands down. Track
The
side or
brothers part. Luke.
Luke who?
Okay,
You know his last name?
yeah, that's a different
Terrell.
way. So you said 5 and 7 equals.
The little kid?
Yeah.
I've actually never seen Star Wars.
So Taylor said
When the
5
cartoon
and
Star
7
Wars,
equals
when
12.
they build like
5 and 3 equals 8. And then what did
and
you
that
do?
little kid.
Okay, what about Princess Leia? Is she a good
How do you
character or an
get
evil character?
Good. She got the little
She's a good
pink
character.
thing
She's the
on.
one with the hair on the side.
Yeah.
Princess Leia is a good character. What about Darth Vader?
It's bad.
Darth Vader is a...
Bad.
Okay, so traditional literature has good characters and
So
evil characters. So in this story, while we read, we're going to look for who the good characters are and who the evil characters are. Got it, got it?
Got it, got
Everyone
it.
knows I'm not pushing you to these hands are holding. You keep
Taylor,
calling
you
out.
said 5 plus 7
We're going to move on.
5 plus 3.
Traditional
What's the
literature
next step?
also has story
Taylor, I know
elements.
you've got it. What's
Remember,
the next
story
step?
elements are setting, talking characters, oops, there's a problem, attempts to resolve, and
Actions.
12 and what else?
yes, a solution.
Yes, a solution.
So in this story, you should be able to pick out the, there, please don't say that. Watch out. Everybody else
way to
is
solve
controlling
this
their
super
sound.
fast. Isn't me? I'm loving
In this story, you'll be able to pick out the setting, the talking characters, the problem, the solution, and how the character tries to fix the problem. Got it? Alright, the last part of traditional literature. Traditional literature teaches a lesson. It teaches a?
Lesson.
It teaches a?
Lesson.
It teaches a lesson or it has a theme. So when I finish reading, I'm going to ask you what was the lesson or the moral of the story. The moral is the lesson.
Awesome,
The thing
yeah.
that the
She
author
can
is
use her
trying to
fingers.
teach
You
you.
can also do it in your head.
Jameer, what's
This
the
is a
moral
math
of the
fact.
story?
We know that 12 plus 8 equals 20. Camila?
And what is the lesson? It's what the author is trying to.
Where'd you get 10?
Everybody, it's what the author is trying to.
Teach us.
Alright, you got it. So who
Oh,
can remind me
you
what
saw the
happened
5 and the 5.
in the first few pages of this book when we read it on
And that
Monday?
equals 10.
What happened in the story?
Did
Who
you use your
remembers?
fingers for that? No, you just did it in your
Hands down.
Oh.
Track Jemiah. Maurice is tracking. Terrell is tracking.
Oh, wait.
Terrell is tracking.
You already put the
Great
5
job.
on
Go ahead,
5.
Jemiah. Ooh, a little bit louder.
Oh, got it. So 10 plus is 13, and then what?
Who is being mean to the frog? Everybody, it was the? The princess. How did the frog feel about the princess?
And you do this one.
We should also be tracking Jemiah. She's not done speaking.
So the
How did the frog feel about the
Okay.
princess?
Nice work. Who has another?
No, how did the frog feel about the princess?
Monique?
Who can help her out? How did the
I'm
frog
gonna
feel
call
about
it
the
kids who show
princess?
positive reactions. It's a check. It'll be a check for anybody
Hands
else.
down. Track Tyrone.
Hands folded and check.
Track your friends.
He said that
So the Phoenix what?
he thought the princess was so kind, but the princess
Wait a
was
minute.
acting ugly
That's all we
and
did?
Say go go Tyrone.
go Tyrone.
Okay, fingers up, Jameer. Maurice, both fingers. And say go go Jemiah.
Go
Great
Jemiah.
job. So yeah, he was sad because he thought the princess was amazing. He thought she was.
One more, and then we're going to do
Everybody, he thought she was.
Amazing.
Tyrone, fold your hands so you can earn more points.
So you already
He
went
thought
back.
she was amazing. He thought she was.
Amazing.
But she was actually very mean. She was actually very.
Amazing.
So the
I
frog
don't
said,
let anybody
I'm
else get one.
he heard a song in the middle of the night, and he left to go on a journey. To go on a
Journey.
Why is he going on a journey? Who remembers? Why is he going on a journey? What did he tell the king? Hands down. Let's try that again. Everybody hands up. Let's see if you can do it faster.
This time I want you
Hands
to
up. Up. I'm still waiting for you there.
so
Hands up. Ooh, Jameer was the fastest. Track Jameer. Jameer, where was it going?
What do you know? Again, it's a silent finger on your thumb.
Yeah, say go, go, Jameer. Flat. Yeah, Jameer, you're absolutely right. He was going on a journey to find a nicer princess. To find a
Nicer princess.
Now remember, he found these two trolls who were fighting with each other, and that's where we're going to pick up reading.
Got it.
Following the sun by day and the moon by night, the frog journeyed on his pony. Almost everybody has hands folded at the table. Jemiah, fold. On the third day of his travels, he came upon two trolls. How many trolls?
Two trolls.
Tyrone, match my body. Two trolls. How many trolls?
Two trolls.
Maurice, check. Match my body. Unfold their hands. Do it. Two trolls. How many trolls?
Two trolls.
You got it. On the third day of his travels, he came upon two trolls. Jemiah, if you're not tracking the book, you can't learn. They clutched a golden bird cage between them, Terrell eyes, and with their free hands,
Pretty fast. Anybody have another one?
punched
Even
and
if that was
pummeled
the
each
fastest
other
way,
vicious.
what's another way we can solve this?
Within the cage, a white dove was dashed against the bars. The frog saw that the helpless bird would soon be killed. It would soon be
Killed.
If you let me hold the prize, you'll be able to beat each other much better, he called out, pretending to be helpful. Why is the frog trying to pretend? Why is he pretending to be helpful? He's trying to trick the trolls into
There
giving
are so
him
many
the
ways
bird.
to solve number
Why?
sentences. Prince, what do you do?
Hands down. Tyrone, you can be faster. Hands up. Hands up. Whoa, so cool. Track Tyrone. Tyrone, why is he trying to trick the trolls?
Yeah, let's go with.
Make sure you look around and make sure all of your friends are tracking you. Twirl eyes on Tyrone.
And how did you know that 9 plus 6 is 15?
Get the trolls to stop
Because
fighting.
you just knew.
Stop.
Yeah, leaders, it's okay. Like, you don't have to show
Were the
your
trolls trying to
fingers
kill
for
the bird?
anything lower than 20. By now, you should know.
Were they
that
trying
one
to
is
kill the
45.
bird?
We don't even need to count.
Or were they trying to hurt each
That 9
other?
plus 6 is 15. We don't even need to.
They were trying to?
Because you've got to hurt each other.
They were trying to?
Hurt each other.
They're trying to hurt each other, but the bird was getting hurt. Why? Why was the bird getting hurt too?
When you're sitting up straight,
Terrell?
you come back.
Jimmy, And what are they doing with the bird cage there? They're holding the bird cage. So imagine if you're like, imagine if you're like wrestling with somebody and you were holding a bird in one hand. The bird would probably get hurt too, right? So why is the frog trying to trick them? Real fast, hands down. This is a question of character motivation. You got it. One more time, Jemiah. It's a check. You can't be playing with your hands. You gotta repeat after me, okay?
I want to hear.
Get ready. It's a question of character
Motivation.
You got it, Zach. Character motivation is why the character not says something, does something, or thinks something. So I'm asking you why the frog is trying to trick them, what he's trying to
Trick them.
Who can tell me? Why is he trying to trick the trolls?
Okay, so we use the number chart.
Hands down. Track Zayar. Zayar, track your friends. Maurice is tracking, Jameer is tracking, Jemiah is tracking, Terrell is tracking. Great, go ahead.
Is what?
He said that because
Can you show me exactly what you did for plus 9 and what?
Say go, go, Zayar. Zachary, one more time we do it with you. Go, go, Zayar. Good job, Zayar. You're absolutely right. He doesn't want the bird to get hurt. So he's trying to trick the trolls into giving him the bird so he can save its
life.
So he can save its life. So he can save its
Life.
You got it. The trolls glared at him with wicked eyes. With
Wicked eyes.
let me see your best wicked eyes.
Is 4 plus 9, 14?
Whoa, Tyrone, that's scary. Tracking.
Taylor, what is that?
Back in the book.
Each thinking that the prize now included a fresh frog dinner. They gave the cage to the frog, and they fell to fighting even harder.
And then you have
Finally, with
Is there
2
any other way to
blows,
solve this?
Zachary eyes, they knocked each other dead.
Because I already told
The
you.
frog breathed a great sigh of relief. Jimmy, you're full of. Let me hear you breathe a great sigh of relief.
Oh, you started with
Yes, Hannah.
So they killed each other?
Yep, because the trolls were just hitting each other so hard that they both died.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Zachary, scoot back a little bit away from the table. Hands are. I can hear everybody. Hands are.
Folded.
You got it. I'll wait for folding and turn away. The frog breathed a great sigh of relief. He opened the cage and the dove hopped out. The dove
Hopped out.
Yep, Terrell hopped with it. You are very clever, Frog Prince, he said. Thank you, said the frog, Jemiah eyes. But I am not a prince, I am
Not
only a dressed-up frog. But that as it may, I shall repay your kindness, said the dove. Then he flew off.
We still get the same
Flew
answer.
off.
Oh, yep, Jemiah's
Fold
definitely
your hands, crisscross.
probably flying faster than everybody else.
2,
On to the next page.
On to the next page.
There, fold all the way.
Here's the deal.
The frog continued on his way, Zachary eyes.
2 more numbers.
After a while, he saw a thin line of smoke above the treetops.
Fold.
When he came into a clearing, he saw a great black kettle. A
No.
great black
We don't
kettle.
know that.
What's a kettle? Who can tell me?
No, it's
He saw a great black kettle. What's a kettle? You can look at the picture to help you.
That's not disrespect. Disrespect.
It's right here.
So leaders, what do you think? I'm going to give you 2
Hands down.
number strings.
Ooh, everyone's so fast. Hands up.
Nevaeh,
Hands down. Track Maurice.
What I
Maurice,
want
what's a
you to
kettle?
do is show me the fastest way. Show me the
Fastest way.
Show me the fastest way to solve. I have already modeled a couple different ways that you can show your thinking as to how you would really show your mind. I want you to show me the fastest way to solve on your piece of paper. What I'm going to do is hand you.
Yeah, a kettle is a big black pot. A big black pot. Yes, Sarah. Turn and track your friends. Hands down there.
I saw the kettle in summertime.
You need a kettle?
Yeah.
Oh.
In summer.
Okay, so you should have, Tyrone, the hand movement for that is this. That's the connection, okay? That way I would have known what you were about to say. Hands are.
Folded.
Like only for Zayar. Hands are.
Folded.
Eyes are.
Cracking.
Just eyes are tracking. Dancing around it was a green-faced witch. A green-faced
Which?
She muttered incantations. Incantations are spells. As she danced around, she threw mole's teeth and toad warts into the boiling water. All at once, she tossed a small, struggling turtle towards the brew. But the frog, quick as a wink, flicked out his tongue. See, flick out your tongue.
It means that you don't have to write the
He
fastest.
flicked out his tongue and he caught the poor creature on the end of
This is
it.
not a race.
So, what did the frog just do to the turtle?
I just said fold 3 times.
Make sure you raise your hand.
Check.
Hands out. Track Jameer.
Nevaeh.
Jameer, what did the frog? Hold on. What did the frog do to the turtle? Use a full sentence.
I want you to represent the fastest way to solve.
Everybody, the frog.
Save the
Say
turtle.
go Jameer.
Go,
Let's see.
The witch shrieked
You
in
have
fury.
your hands folded
Yes,
in
Sarah.
leave. Get pencils first. When you get your pencil, please do not start yet.
Oh, I didn't even see her
When
there.
it's time to
Which is
start.
kind of like touching his back.
Thanks. Kimani didn't
Oh, what do you
touch
think she's
her.
trying to do? She's trying to.
Catch him.
She's trying to.
Catch him.
Yes, Maurice. Everybody back
All right,
straight
everybody.
so the people behind you. I
I
know. I didn't realize she was there either. She does look like a tree. All right, hands folded so we can keep moving.
Nevaeh, time to
The
get
frog slipped the turtle into his pocket.
Not a
Zachary,
race.
put the turtle in
You're
your pocket.
representing the fastest way to
Yep,
solve.
Zachary's turtle is in his pocket, and he plunged into the woods astride his pony. Everyone, 1 point for tracking. The witch scrambled after them, screeching curses and trying her best to cast a spell. To cast a spell. Wave your wand around. Pick a friend, cast a spell.
I'm not mad.
Nice. And hands are.
Folded.
Thanks, guys. The little horse was so terrified he galloped like the wind, and they began to outdistance the hag. The Chinese. Turn around. But as they ran, Zayar, eyes over here. Fix your face. But as they ran, the forest grew darker and darker. It grew And darker still. The witch had managed to cast a spell upon the trees. She cast a spell upon the
Trees.
making their leaves grow so thickly that they blocked out the light. In complete blackness, the pony could only stumble along. Could the pony see in the dark?
No way.
No way. Yes, sir.
I know how the pony could see. I know how the pony could walk through the forest.
Okay, so you're about to make a prediction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your prediction? Tell your friend.
If seven would walk inside the woods, the pony would follow the voice out of the woods.
Make sure you
He's
write
gonna
it
follow
down.
what? Oh,
Out of the woods.
oh, so maybe he can use his ears. He can use his
Ears.
The frog heard the witch crashing through the bushes and getting closer. She was getting
Closer.
Jemiah, eyes on the book. He puffed out his throat and cried out to the forest for help. Soon the air was filled with a whirl of wings. Who do you think is going to come back to help the frog? Who might help the frog? Remember somebody earlier in the story Jemiah had told him that they would repay his kindness. Who do you think it's going to be? Hands out. Turn and track Jemiah. Jameer is tracking. Oop, Jemiah, remember you gotta wait. Jameer is tracking. Maurice, where should your eyes be? Tyrone is tracking. Terrell is tracking. Go ahead, Jemiah. Who do you think is gonna come help him? Terrell, eyes. Jemiah, you need to sit up straight and fold your hands. Fold, thank you. Sit up straight.
We're gonna run out of time, but all I want you to do is solve these.
The who? The king?
Leaders take 1
Is that what you
minute
said?
to finish.
Okay. Maurice, why do you disagree? Everybody here.
Exactly.
Maurice, remember, the first thing you do is check to make sure your friends are tracking you. Go ahead, Maurice.
A lot of kids using fast strategies.
But the trolls are dead, remember? They wanted to eat him. Do you think they would want to help him if they wanted to eat him? So who else might it be? You're close. It was someone who's with the trolls. Who everybody is going to be the?
Bird.
Terrell, how do you know it's going to be the bird? Tell your friend. Ooh, so he used the?
Picture.
Terrell used the?
Picture.
He used that picture. But how else do we know? What in the text evidence? I'm going to read it out to you again. The dove said, I shall repay your kindness. I shall repay your
Kindness.
So, so the dove was saying, if you need help, I got you. He was saying,
If you need help, I got you.
thanks, Zaire. Yep. And you can see him right there, yeah. Soon the air was filled with a whirl of wings. Zaire is tracking, Tyrone is tracking, Maurice is tracking.
There's no reason you should be touching it, Kayla.
Soon the air was filled.
We're gonna be done actually, so.
Soon the air was filled with a whirl of wings, and the white dove appeared, along with hundreds of birds. He came with hundreds of birds from all parts of the forest. Together they pecked away at the leaves, creating a trail of sunbeams, a trail of
Sunbeams.
in the dark woods. The frog galloped through, and when the witch tried to follow, the birds flew down and they pecked her to bits. They pecked her to
Bits.
So leaders, has the frog found a kind princess yet?
No way.
Has he found someone else who's really kind to him?
No way.
Oh yeah, yes.
Maurice, why are you saying yes?
Make sure you're in the middle of your square.
So who's being kind to the frog? Everybody, it's the? House?
Nice work, leaders.
Let's see, earn their dollar.
Digital content, log out.
Yep, Jemiah's saying
I saw a lot of kids, they're gonna find the two numbers that straight. The two numbers that made.
So look, Zaira, because you're twitching your body around, you
Wait
just
a minute.
elbowed him.
All hands still be sitting on your body.
That's why you need to sit calm
Right
and
now,
still.
everybody has their
Two
dollar,
claps.
and I'm going with that.
What did I just say? Hold, sit up
One.
straight.
0.
Two
Jakari's
claps.